It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
What is up, my friends? Fox here, FXRC. And today I'm going to take a look at my Traxxas ERevo 2.0. Truck I wanted for a while, so a lot of anticipation for me. Finally get one of these. I'm really glad because I really have wanted to do one of these. This truck's been around for a long time in many different forms and versions. So it's the truck with a bit of a legacy to it. So I definitely always wanted one. I'm glad I finally, I guess, did. It's a Traxxas, so it comes with a higher price tag than I would think most do. Slightly higher anyway, for value wise. I do feel that way. Most of the time, not all the time. I mean, most of the time it seems like that. But so I opted to get myself a slider. I looked around and I waited, and eventually I found myself a nice Traxxas ERevo 2.0 slider, brand new. So no electronics, but you see it's brand new, no scratches. And it just has no electronics, no tires, and this one didn't even have any body on it either. So I had to get that for around $300, I'd say, US. Which is still kind of high for what you're kind of getting there in value wise, but it's perfect for me because I can put my own stuff in it anyway, which is the route I knew I wanted to go. So anyway, as far as the body goes, I think I got this one, had all the clips and all that stuff on it for, I want to say, somewhere around $50 something US too. So I mean, that's, like I said, it's kind of slightly high, but for what you're getting there, I think. Anyway, super nice looking truck. Obviously, it's a Traxxas ERevo. They look absolutely sick, and even with these, look at these tires. It's just absolutely sick looking truck. The orange is a lot more fluorescent in person than it seems to come out on camera. And probably the blue's a little bit more vibrant too, I would think. But it's a very nice looking body. Traxxas makes nice looking bodies. I do think so. So tires, I went with the Proline Badland. These are the 3.8s. These are the regular Badlands, not the MX Badlands. And I wrestled a little bit with what I wanted for tires on this, because I see quite a few people with like really big tires on these, and I mean, you obviously see the stock tires too. I don't know. So I did see these big old. These are actually the Badland MX 3.8s. So these are the Badland MX, whereas these are just the regular. But both of these are 3.8s, and there is a huge difference in tire size there. Just absolutely huge difference. And with these on the truck, it just I felt like there was going to be more driving the tire than it would be the actual truck. So I knew I didn't want a tire this big. And then I thought, well, I kind of wanted a tire about the same size as, maybe the Creighton's tire. I think that would have been a good size tire for this truck. And I knew that the Arrma D-Boot 4S backflips were about the same size as that. Now I wasn't about to get put Arrma tires on the Traxxas and never get the end of it. So obviously I wasn't about to do that. So I went for these Proline Badlands. They are a little bit smaller in the width than the D-Boot 4S backflips, but not much. And I think it's going to be a really good fit for this truck. I think that's just a good size where it's going to be good control, and like in between like the Monster and a little, truggy kind of thing. So should be pretty good handling. And as far as the outside, about it. For this is going to be step one. Obviously, it's just going to be, you know, what I did so far. I haven't gone too crazy yet. I'm kind of, you know, just kind of addressing the stuff that I needed right now, which would be, you know, the electronics and the tires and stuff like that, and a couple other little things too. But I'm gonna get you over and we'll look in and you see a lot better, and I'll show you what I got going on. Alright guys, so now you're over the bench. You can kind of really get a good look at what I did end up doing. I might as well actually get this beautiful body off of here. It's definitely a nice looking, very unique looking truck. You know, with the whole cantilever system and stuff, it's a very unique looking truck, I should say. I did end up going with a set of these aluminum axle carriers, steering blocks, although it's not a steering block in the rear, but as well, you know, in the front. Typically I would have gone with hot racing on these, but this is a problem I was kind of finding with this truck, was that I don't want to say that the truck's on its way out, but a lot of the aftermarket, especially hot racingers that I can see, the parts that they used to make for this are not coming into stock anymore. They're always out of stock. They might never be again. So at least that's what I can, from what I've been seeing. I've been waiting for stuff and it's just not coming into stock. So anyway, I ended up getting a pair of these, two sets of these actually, off of Amazon, and they were about $25 a piece or something like that. And they look an awful lot like the hot racing ones. They just don't say hot racing. They even have that whole diamond etching on the you know, on the outside there that hot racing always does. So they seem like they're about the same quality anyway. I would think it doesn't really seem like they're not. So anyway, I did end up doing that for a little upgrade. Now I don't suspect that to stop the problem of this rod end breaking. I do have. That's going to be in part two. Like I said, I was just kind of doing some things right now, and some things are still kind of coming. So anyway, electronics, I went with a Hobby Wing Max 6 and a Hobby Wing 2200 kV motor. This is, I think, because the stock motor is a 2200 also, so it's really no different, I guess, than the stock. This is a Max 6, which is 8S capable. I'm not going to run this thing on 8S. The motor is only 6S capable. I just rather than, because the other option would, I guess, been a Max 8, and it probably would have been more than enough for this truck, really. I just kind of like maybe having more than I need sometimes, I guess, in a way. And the stock ESC gives you plenty of room for a larger ESC like this Max 6, because it's probably comparable to about the same size as the stock ESC. You know, and why not, you know, have power that you don't need, so, or allow, you know, just because I'm only going to be running it on 6S, but that's okay. So anyway, I went with the Max 6 and the Hobby Wing 2200 kV. Should be more than enough power for this truck. It's not that heavy a truck, even, you know, with the tires and stuff. So as far as servos, I went with a pair of these MKS, and these are the HBL 550s. You know, it's a really nice looking servo. It's not a servo that I can really state how, you know, great and durable and all that stuff, because I've never used them before. They had really good reviews. They were, for what they were, they're brushless, all metal gear, super fast and really powerful. I want to say, I mean, it's saying, I want to say somewhere around 500 ounce-inches of torque, which is, I mean, that's pretty good for the price that they were. I mean, they were all like $100 US. That's not that bad. And it's a absolutely beautiful looking servo. All aluminum case, just stunning. All the hardware is all hex hardware. That's, I know it's really shiny because it's actually like raw aluminum and the black with the X on there. Just super nice looking servo. Really nice. I'm really intrigued to see how well these work. Like I said, for the price and the specs, it's a really seems to be a really good deal. So now obviously that's probably way more than I'm going to need for this truck, having two of them in there. But I knew that the design of this truck, the way things look, shall we say, that the servos are a really prominent part of that. They're very, you know, there's two of them, they're displayed, they're very high, you know, so I wanted a really nice looking servo. I wanted a servo with a black wire, so it's just to kind of help it blend better. So anyway, it fit all my criteria, so and we'll see how they work out, hopefully well. And then I'm going to be running this on my Futaba. This is just on my Futaba 4 PM, so I got a little 4-channel Futaba servo in there. That's why I left the cover off so you guys can see it. Typically, I would run my basher rigs probably on my Spectrum DX5C, but the problem with that radio is you can only do like 10 you can only have 10 vehicles programmed in to the thing, and instead of like, I don't know, whereas my Futaba is like 40, you can do like 40 cars, so that's why I'm doing this. I might end up going and getting another Spectrum or something, I don't know, or maybe, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I got this in it now, we'll see what goes on after that. I did go with the Traxxas rear brace on this. I think this is a carryover from the previous ERevo, but it's definitely going to be better than the stock plastic that was on here. So, and it's definitely a nice rugged looking piece. I do have limiter straps. These are 90 millimeter hot racing limiter straps. The rear ones, from the research I found that I think the rear ones are the ones that are really important to have, not so much the front. I did have some on the front just to kind of give me a little extra. They probably would have been better if these were maybe 80 millimeter, I think, and you could have just ran them straight over. I have them X'd off because they're 90 millimeters, so it stops it right before it needs to go any further. It'll do the trick. Like I said, I don't think the fronts are as important as having it on the rear. You know, and I did end up putting a hot racing metal spur gear. These come with a plastic spur gear, which is kind of seems crazy to me that the 6S would have a plastic spur gear. I mean, it's a very robust composite spur gear. I'm sure it would have been very, very tough. It just seems like a 6S vehicle should definitely not have a composite spur gear. I just really don't think that seems like a good idea. You know, so I did get the hot racing spur gear on here. And what else did I do? That's pretty much about, yeah, like I said, this is kind of more just like, you know, getting all the electronics in and maybe a couple other things that I knew I wanted to do. And yeah, I did end up getting these hot racing skid plates here. See the hot racing in the front. Look at that. And I think that's about it. Alright guys, there you have it. Traxxas ERevo 2.0. It's definitely a nice looking truck. I mean, come on, look at that thing. That is a nice looking truck. I cannot wait to see what this thing's going to be capable of. That I would say there is probably about 2, maybe 3 things that I feel like probably should have been included in the truck. You know, especially, you know, if you did get it ready to run and stuff like that. One of which would be the center drive shaft being plastic. I do wish that thing was a metal drive shaft. Traxxas makes one. It's kind of expensive, I guess, for what it is. Also, but like I said, I mean, Traxxas makes it. This is kind of a high price. They probably would have been nice if they threw that in, you know, and maybe even a metal spur gear, you know. And then even if they just did those 2 things, I'd be okay with upgrading the rear, the rear tie rods, because I guess that's probably another thing that's going to break, you know, being a design flaw. So anyway, Traxxas ERevo, I'm really am excited about this truck. It's such a nice looking truck. I'm sure it should be pretty fun. I mean, how can it not? Look at it. Look at it. Awesome. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys know of anything I should probably do. Then, you know, let me know. I would love to read your comments and converse. So anyway, definitely, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe. Maybe, I don't know, share the video or something. It'd be awesome. I can't tell you how much it means to me that you even watch my video, so thank you so much. Fox, FXRC, keep an eye out for part 2 of my ERevo 2.0. And I guess my other videos. Thank you so much. Bye. Here's a look at most of the stuff that went in here anyway. So, some part numbers, if anybody's interested. You can. So, the tires, the receiver, the servo,